Hello, welcome to our Stretch with Dave. I am Dave. Today we are going to go through 9 stretches, starting on the ground. We will work our way to standing. Resistance band or towel will work for today. You really don't need these as well. You can go through the motion without a resistance band or towel, but it will enhance the session. So we are going to start on the ground. One thing to note is I am in clothes that don't move very well, but that's okay. I can still stretch. And that should be a lesson to you where you don't always need to be in fitness clothes to do mobility. Even strength training and cardio you can do in your everyday clothes. So I'm starting with the band around my left foot. I'm going to lie on my back, point my toe towards my shin, and then I'm just going to lift my leg up. And we're going to move through this today. A little bit more dynamic. And I might not be able to get my same range of motion, but I am certainly feeling a stretch in my hamstrings here. And just as a reminder, we want to keep that leg straight, toe pointed towards the shin. And this time, instead of going back down, we're going to go out. Try to keep both hips on the ground. So when I rotate out and both shoulders, some people will want to lift that hip up. Try to keep that hip on the ground. And that might reduce your range of motion, but it is a much better version of the stretch. And now, instead of going to the outside, what we're going to do is we're going to cross over. And what I do is I keep both my shoulders on the ground for this one, but my left hip, as I cross my right leg, will come off the ground a little bit, and that's okay. Keep that leg straight, toe pointed towards the shin. If you need to take a break for a second, you can always return back here and then go up and over. But we're done with that side. So, little trick, you can just put your right foot in the hole there, and then take your left foot out. That's an easy change. So now, right leg is straight, toe pointed towards the shin. I have both hands on my band or towel. And while keeping that leg straight, I elevate it with the assistance of the band. You know, I could pull my hands all the way up here and make it a little easier. This is a great way to get mobility in those hamstrings after sitting so much throughout your day. Take a little rest here, and then we'll go up, and now we're going out to the side. So again, hips and shoulders stay on the ground when we move to the outside here. And I find if I hold the band in my right hand and go out to the right, it makes it easier to keep that hip and shoulder on the ground. And then, since now we're crossing over, I'll put the band in my left hand and really focus on keeping that right shoulder on the ground as I cross my left leg over my right. Again, the hip is going to come off the ground. That's only natural. That's the only way you could really do this. But we still want to keep that right shoulder on the ground. We spend a lot of time with these stretches, hamstrings specifically, because they are so tight on most people. Again, from the sitting. But it also connects to your low back, and if we have flexible hamstrings, we're less likely to have back pain. So our figure 4 is next. What I'm going to do, sitting straight, I cross my left leg over my right. I know my range of motion today isn't going to be the best with the clothes that I'm wearing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the band to assist me. So what you can actually do before I cross over is I can put my band under my right leg, okay? So the band is, I'll show you this way. The band is sitting under my right leg like this. I can cross my left leg over, bring the one part of the band through that hole with my left hand, and then grab the other side with my right. And now as I do this figure 4 stretch, I can easily keep my head on the ground while pulling my right knee towards my chest and getting that stretch in my left glute. And if you find that your leg is sliding up, you can just hold it onto your, just slightly above your ankle, pushing down. And you'll see it a little better from the other side. I should have started with my right side crossed over. And I do this one in a static stretch because you probably already felt a little bit of a stretch or a warm up in this hip. We're going to switch sides. You probably felt a little bit of a stretch already in that hip when we were doing that hamstring crossover stretch. So we can hold a static stretch now. The area is already warmed up. It's pliable. So a static stretch can actually really greatly increase our range of motion. Hit that area twice. There's no problem with that. And it's a series of very large, strong, tight muscles that we have to target a little bit more frequently to get a better stretch. So we have our glute bridge next here, and I like to just throw this in as an activation exercise. Again, we were doing PNF stretching last week. We're not doing it so much here. I just want you to use these muscles a little bit. So my glute bridge, my feet are close to my bottom, hands at my side. I push my hips up to the sky, activating those legs in the back. So why I'm including this today is because if you do find yourself sitting a lot, these muscles are getting tight, but they're also getting weak, right? So your hamstrings are in a flex position. Your glutes are in a flex position, but there's no load there, right? Because you're sitting down. So if we do these glute bridges, we're strengthening our whole posterior, and that includes your erector spinae, which is the muscles that run along your spine, as you might have guessed. That could also get weak from sitting. They're not really holding you up anymore. They're not supporting your spine. The chair is doing all that work. So it's good to take some time to also strengthen those muscles. And it doesn't have to be a lot, right? It could be something like as simple as a glute bridge. If you ever want to make a glute bridge harder, you can go single leg. You can sort of alternate that if you'd like. But throwing in those strengthening exercises is always good. So Childhood Cobra, another dynamic movement. So we did a little bit of strengthening of the erector spinae there. This will stretch it out with our child pose. So I'm pushing my hips back, crawling my hands forward. And then as I take a deep breath in, I'm going to get my hands under my shoulders, legs straight, and then I'm going to push my hips into the ground while lifting up my chest. And then as I breathe out, into that child's pose. And you can do this as fast or as slow as you like. I just like to go on the breath cycle, so nice deep breath in and out. And in, chest lifted, hips into the ground. You might find you get a little bit more range of motion every time. Stretching these muscles that might get tight over the course of your day. And really ease into them too. If if this is your first stretch video, or you find like these movements are particularly tough, just ease into it. It's a good thing what you're doing right now, but it's gonna take it's gonna take a little time to undo some of the damage that's been caused. We have our cat and the cow neck, so we can hold this quadruped position. So my knees are under my hips, my hands are under my shoulders. I tuck my chin in, push into the ground, arching my spine up. And then as I breathe in, I bring my spine flat, chin forward, looking straight ahead. Breathe out. And in. So I find, you might notice I go on my knuckles here, and I feel like that allows me to get a little bit more into my cat and cow. But if you find that you have tight forearms, it might be beneficial for you to be going into more flat palm, because that will stretch out the forearms a little bit more. But I find I don't get as big of a cat pose out of it. Okay. We have our arm swing, so we're going to be standing for the rest of the stretch video. Palms up. I messed up my lighting today. Palms up. I'm going to cross my body, palms down. And then I just alternate what arm's on top. You know, this is a great one because I feel it really just shakes things up in my shoulder, chest, traps. You know, it does a really good job at reducing rigidity because it's so loose, so flowing. You know, it's so loosey-goosey, I guess is the medical scientific term for it all. It's just nice and easy. Gets the blood flowing. It's a little bit fun. Everybody's having a great time. I don't think I went live, so this is going to be a YouTube only video, and that's okay. So we're going to go into our triangles next. So I wanted to show you this could be done without a chair. If you're more comfortable with the chair, that's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an exaggerated step forward with my right foot. Left foot's back and straight. I put my weight onto my right leg, just using my hand, and then I can open up with my triangle, just like so. I'm not going to do reverse today, as that's a little bit more challenging to do in this position, and I don't want to subjugate anybody to that. We'll do 8 actually per side, since we're not doing reverse. But maybe in the coming weeks, we will do that. And then I'm just going to face the other way so that you guys can see. Left leg is forward, right leg is straight. Right leg on the inside of the right knee, and then I turn and I open. And again, this is just really great for that spine health, where we're getting a little bit more rotation in our day. We're also opening up the chest, the shoulders. But I am a big advocate for getting some twisting throughout your day, because our spines are made to do it, but we rarely want more here. We rarely get any throughout our day. So last 2 here, we have a rotator cuff band stretch. So I'm going to hold this in my right hand. Left hand is on the bottom. And all I do is I lift up. And, you know, I might be getting a little bit of a tricep workout in my right arm here, which is raising. But the real stretch comes from, you can see as I pull up, my left arm slowly crawls up my back a little bit and then back down. That is the stretch. We're forcing our arm into external rotation, which thus stretches our internal rotators. And our internal rotators are the ones that tend to get a little bit more tight because we're like this all day. We are internally rotated. So we're going to switch sides. Right hand on the bottom now, left arm up top, and then I just lift up. And this can be done with a towel as well. You know, the band is certainly easier, but the towel will work all of the same. Just look forward, nice and neutral spine, standing up nice and tall. We'll finish off with our handcuff stretch. So we warmed up those external rotators, those, you know, we got some stretching in that shoulder. So now we can do more of a static stretch here at the end. So what I do, nice proud Superman chest, grab my right wrist behind my back, bring my shoulders back and down, stretching out the chest musculature. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. Yeah, I usually prefer the door frame stretch to the handcuff stretch here, but the handcuff stretch will target your rotator cuff a little bit more, target a little bit more of the shoulders, less of the chest. So it is good to mix them up. And then I'm just going to grab my right wrist now instead of my left wrist. Nice, proud Superman chest, looking forward. Couple deep breaths in, couple deep breaths out. And we'll shake it out. Call it a day. I hope you enjoyed that stretch. I will see you on, I'll see you in a couple days anyways, for our next video. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave a comment in the video or send me an email, and I'm always happy to address those. If there's an area where you're feeling a little tight as well, and maybe you want some suggestions there, just again, leave a comment, and I'm happy to help you out. But have a wonderful day.